Hey guys, Ben from eXplorminate here, and we're back with episode 3 of Field of Glory Empires, looking at the Persia DLC. We are playing as Egypt, and in the last 3 turns, we've just been going through our empire and just making sure that we're building all the right stuff we need and making some preliminary plans. We have got a war brewing against Meroe, and I'm also trying to take the province of Sinai. If we scroll out a little bit, hit F8, you can see these province names here, and you scroll in further and it just goes, it shows you the names of all the provinces. This is actually a really useful little screen. Sometimes when you're trying to make your plans, you can at a glance kind of see where it is that you want to, which regions you need to take in order to get the majority of them to form a province. And the benefits for forming provinces are pretty substantial. Okay, so I think we're about done with this turn. I think that these, logistics, Amastria. Okay, so we've got this is a new objective now. They want us to take this particular place. What's significant about here, apart from having troglodyte caverns again? Nothing by the looks of it, but they want it anyway. So this is going to be a target for us because it will enable us to get a progress token. Okay, so we bolstered our economy. Oh, we've got a new regional decision. Sorry, bolster economy. Bolster a border region not having more than 5 population, provided it is adjacent to a tribe on the coast. The targeted region will receive 2 population points, a palisade, a shepherd house, and 2 skirmishers. Okay, this is pretty cool. It's going to take 50 manpower and 100 money. I like these regional decisions. These are really cool. Really cool. That might be worth doing. There was another one as well, build harbour, and this might be wise because I don't think. Let's see if we've actually got any anchorages already. Just if we click on it again, there we go. Yeah, we've got a harbour here in Mariotis. Now the next level might give us an extra level of trade acumen or trade distance. Let's have a look at major harbour. No, I think it's commercial port actually that does that. So it might be worth us just getting more anchorages anyway. They can be useful. So let's just have a look. Oops, what am I doing? Did I already do that? Yeah, it looks like I did. I think I was being a bit premature. So it looks like we've actually used that one already, but that's no problem. Having I think I might have upgraded it on this one here. I think that's what I just did. Never mind. That's no problem. So this would be a good place to put a harbour anyway. Particularly since if we do get the option to build a commercial port again, it would be good to have. Oh wow, look at Cyrene. They're really starting to take some land. That's fine. We can take it back off them. Okay, let's carry on. Merchants in Copts complaining about extortion by the local governor. Okay, so we've got a corrupt governor here. Let's just hold over this. Oh, we were also raided, but the defense easily repelled the invaders. Okay, that's because we're starting to amass some troops here now as well. So, when you're extorted, here we go, corrupt governor, he gives you a taxation penalty of 35%, which lasts for 3 turns. So that's kind of annoying. It's not the worst thing that can happen. The governor of Egyptus had to declare a state of emergency after a sudden epidemic. That's not good. Epidemic's outburst. So let's just have a look what that does. Oh, it gives you a loyalty penalty, a health penalty, and a manpower penalty for 3 turns. Oh, it's not going to be good for our manpower generation or for general growth. Health assists in growth. You need food in order to grow, and health gives you a bonus to your growth too. So health's really important. So that's kind of annoying, but never mind. These things happen. And we've got a total of 5 oases. Okay. And clicking on that brings you to this screen. Okay. So next turn we're going to enter into Sinai. Melanes in Sinai, and we're going to take that. So we'll get to have a look at the combat. And we've got 11... Oh, they've got 8 troops guarding this one now. Heptapanopolis. Okay, let's move it. Let's attack this one here. We don't have a general though. That's not good. So mind you, we don't have any generals. Unfortunate. We've only got 2 generals in this in our force, and both of them are really not great. He's a good defensive general, but the other guy's just no good at all. Let's just go and we'll move in anyway, and we'll see if we can take it. They won't have a general themselves, I don't think, so we should be able to take it, although we'll probably take some casualties. And yeah, that's about it for this turn. We can probably build a few more men. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we've got horsemen, 2 spearmen, and 2 archers, and we've got 2 archers and 2 spearmen heading in. If we build some more horsemen, then we've got something on the flanks, so that makes sense. Let's build some of those guys. We're losing money, but that's not a big problem. I'll just see if there's any free building slots. No. Okay, so everywhere is just happily building away. So let's move into the next turn. Okay, so this is the battle. Okay, there's a couple of ways of doing the battles. You can review the report, so you basically just you can just see the results. That's what I will do with a lot of these battles, especially when they're it's quite obvious that we're going to win. You can skip them completely, which just means it will go on to the next part of the turn processing. Again, particularly if it's an easy battle, you can just skip through it without even looking. We're going to view the battle. The fourth option is to export it, and you can, if you've got Field of Glory 2, you can play the battle in Field of Glory 2. Field of Glory Empires is already quite a long game, so I don't tend to do this. However, and the other reason why I don't do it is also because I really like the battle system in Field of Glory Empires. However, it's the icing on the cake for this game that you can, if you've got a really exciting critical battle, you can export it out and you can play it yourself. And Field of Glory 2 is a phenomenally good game in its own respect. The fact that the two mesh together in the way that they do is just brilliant, and they're made by different companies too. They're made by different developers, I should say. So, there's obviously there's been cooperation between 2 different developers to get this working the way that it does, and it's fantastic. You don't need Field of Glory 2 to play this game. I want to stress that. You really don't. Just if you're interested in this game and you've been thinking, oh well, I don't want to have to buy 2 games. You don't have to. It's just like I say, it's like the cherry on the top of the cake. I'm going to view this battle. So we're going to go into, and I'm going to turn off continuous play. So here's the battlefield. It tells us that it's the Desertic Independence versus the Egyptians. Now all of your men line up, and then you've got some extra places that are restricted for cavalry. So those are on the flanks, and then in the back line you'll have things like archers. The front line tends to be spearmen, and then if you've got any skirmishers, they will go in front and then they'll run back, and chariots and things will go on the flanks. If you've got a longer combat line than your enemy, you're going to get flanking attacks on them. So if you have more troops, you're pretty, unless they're superb quality troops and yours are terrible, you've got a good chance of winning. So it's important to keep up the sizes of your armies. So let's have a look how this works. If we press space, and we'll start the battle. This is the ranged phase. So first, but by the way, this whole thing is automated. You don't have to do anything. All you're doing is just running through each turn and it's telling you what happens. But the way that the combat resolved does run to quite a complex set of rules, much like Field of Glory 2. So sometimes you might be, if you're losing a lot of battles, it's worth running through them just to see exactly what's going on. You'll see here, look, there's tooltips for all the units, and they're telling you exactly all the bonuses they have. I'm not going to go into this in great detail because it's not a tutorial. Again, if you want to know really in detail how the battles work, go and watch someone like Daz Tactic play, because Daz is, I think he did the official videos for this series anyway, the official tutorials, and they're really good. And Daz is just a great person to watch anyway. Okay, so let's press space and we'll go on to the first round. So first, the skirmishers all get a chance to attack the front lines. So we actually exhausted most of their units. So when it's saying exhausted, it doesn't mean literally, well, it means that we've given them so many casualties that they're not going to be very effective in combat now, and they're going to be rolling less dice essentially. So we'll look at the first turn, and we've got Egyptian spearmen versus skirmishers. So after all the combat rating and your support bonuses and defensive bonuses and all this stuff's added together, you roll some dice, and the person who gets the highest number gets the win, right? So we got 10, they got 8, which means we inflicted 2 points of damage on them. That's basically how that works. So we inflicted 7 on them there, which enabled us to kill them completely. That one was a draw, a stalemate. Although, because they've got less hit points than us, they lost some men. We didn't. That will be a complete slaughter as well. So we've won because we've basically it tallies up who's won more of these battles, and whoever's won more wins. There can be a stalemate, in which case the battle is fought again, and with including all the casualties that you've taken. There we go. We've just completely wiped them out. Normally, I wouldn't bother playing a game like that. I wouldn't bother watching it, I should say, because they're not very interesting when it's just a complete walkover. Notice that we did look. Our spearmen, they did take quite a lot of damage in that one in that one battle. The yellow means that they're down 1 effectiveness, and when they're in red, it means they've taken hits as well. So they're actually missing men. So we need to replenish those guys now. This battle is going to be a bit more hairy, I think. By the way the generals work is they give you an extra point of attack. So you get a +1 in that combat resolution for every star that they've got in attack, and for every star they've got in defense, the defender gets a +1. So if you've got a general with +2, which is really good, then you've got a much better chance of winning against a general that hasn't got any stars at all. Let's watch this one too. This one might be a little bit more difficult. So first the range phase. We should be okay. We managed to exhaust them straight off. There's the first one. Second battle's a stalemate, but because we've got men on the flank, you'll see that we'll do a flanking damage. We killed those ones outright. Those guys were killed outright. There we go. Pursuit. So actually, that was fairly simple too, and we won the battle. And look, we actually took less losses on that one. I think that's because we had more skirmishes. Oh well. So we've taken some more provinces for the glorious nation of Egypt. Wow, because we took those two, we really have dropped down far on the CDR table. This is something we have to be very careful of. Okay. I think these guys took this turn, this turn, did they? Oh no, I think they actually might have had all this. Let's keep an eye on Slitherine. Now, you'll notice that they're not just going to keep expanding each turn, and that's partly because of the Decadence thing. The AI is aware of it, and it is careful. Notice how Rome has taken some more provinces. It's always good to have a quick look around the world and see what's happening. Carthage is expanding into North Africa and into Spain, in Iberia. These are Gallic tribes, I think, that are expanding out. Yeah, interesting stuff. This is what we want to keep an eye on, though. Persia. Do you remember how many regions Persia had just 5 turns ago? Well, now look how big they are. They aren't taking Madeira as quickly as they could. They're going east as well, so it looks like they've split their forces and they're going east and to the northwest as well. This gives us a little bit of extra time, maybe. We do want to try and take Sinai as quickly as possible. Now, these guys might struggle in a battle against another 8 units, so let's get these guys healed up, and hopefully we can get a better general. I mean, I'm holding out for our leader to die. His health is fair at the moment. He's only 34 years old, so we might find that he lasts a lot longer yet. Egypt is in a bit of an awkward situation with regards to that. They've just got a terrible military. Okay, so we conquered Milanus. We conquered Adimakedia, and we were raided by Mero. Yeah, we were raided by Mero. Damn you. Egypt is unable to maintain its logistics. Okay, so that's not good. In the reign of Amasis, Cyrenaica has been declared a new objective for the might of Egypt. Which one's this? Okay, so they want us to take Cyrenaica. So we need to take this port here. Yeah, this is going to be an important place for us to take. It gives us access right across to Italy, the Greek nations, and North Africa with Carthage. Yeah, that's going to be an exceptionally important place for us to take. It might well be worth us landing some men in Cyrenaica and taking it. Okay, We do have these guys to consider first. Yeah, look, we've not even fought with these and they're suffering losses. Their effectiveness. This is because they can't get enough. There's no logistics getting them to materials to them. Where is our logistics overlay? I forget which one it is now. There is a supply overlay, I believe. Oh, there we go. Number 3. So let's just have a look at the tooltip for it to remind myself how to use it. Green colour is a supply surplus, orange is no surplus supply, and red is not enough supply. So, okay, so we're getting supply here. I think it's these two units here that aren't getting enough supply. Well, that's fine. We can deal with that. Okay, so we can prospect for resources now, and that will cost us money. We've got a new oasis here, and one here. Okay, so we're gradually building these oases up, and these are great because it helps. It's going to give us more money in the long term because we're paying less on military upkeep, and also I think that the oases give you money as well. Yeah, they give you a little money. You get bonuses from dates as well, and if we had figs in the area, we get extra money. We also get food and manpower, and it produces olive oil, which is awesome. All right. Oh, and in this new territory, we can build something. So, what can we build? Trading tents might be worthwhile. Food's always a good one. Infrastructure's always useful. I might go for the trading tents. The more of these you've got, the better, really, especially if you've got the goods that you require around them. Okay. Let's have a look at this place. Anchorage might be worth building here. Anchorage is always worth building because it doesn't take any slot usages. So each territory only has a certain amount of slots, building slots, and it's depending on the size of how many population you've got. So the more population you've got, the more buildings you can support. So for example, here in Tanis, we've got 3 out of 8 used. So we've actually got 4, but the Anchorage doesn't take one. So the Anchorage doesn't use a slot, as I was saying. So it's always worth getting harbours. Okay, let's see where else we can build. We can build in troglodytes. So, a garum shop. This is going to make us some money because we've got fish. So yeah, let's get that, and we can trade for it. Also, it requires olive oil, and we can trade for it, which also creates a trade need. Now, if you remember, we make money when we have a trade need that is fulfilled by our own empire. We make money on that. We also make money, by the way, if one of our neighbours requires something and they haven't got it, and we can sell it to them. Well, then we make some good money too. This game is all about trade in many respects. The military side is just one aspect of it. Okay, where else? And Norcratis. So let's have a look. We can build a ranch, sanitation, brickwork. Training ground might be good, but it's going to cost us money because we have no flax. Craftier district increases our commerce bonus. That might be good since we've got trading tents and an anchorage here. We could also build a fortune teller, which gives us money and a loyalty bonus. That might be important here, actually, since loyalty's kind of low. But I don't think I can ignore the money from that craftier district, so let's go for that. I'm just going to go through some of. I'm just going to have a quick look through my population just to make sure that I think we're going to have to start putting men into. Yes, I'm going to have to put some citizens into our cultural development. No, let's just leave that there. We don't want to go into the lowest tier. It's really dangerous. In the CDR tier, we really don't want to do that. So I think it's worth just putting some people into culture just temporarily. It is going to slow our growth down, and it's going to damage our economy to some extent in the long term, but you've got to keep out of the bottom tier. It's just so essential. That's going to take forever, so let's put some into culture here too. Let's just get our culture back up on the out of the red. we've got enough people here now that we can probably start putting some into infrastructure too, so we're not going to damage any of our buildings here. Wow, yeah. Some of these desert provinces, they're not very profitable at first. They take a little while to get going. Okay, it's always worth looking through those. Now these guys can't do anything this turn. I think we're going to have to wait anyway. If we take any more provinces right now, we're gonna go into a decadence spiral, and that is serious business. So I would still like to take all of this, but we've got this as an objective now, and we also have this as an objective, and that is a good objective. I mean, that might be worth taking next, because although it will affect our decadence, it gives us a progress token. And you really want to change. You need to go up the different government systems before your aging gets too old, because when this status age is added to your decadence, you'll see how it's calculated. So the sources of decadence here are the nation size, the amount of structures you have that are causing decadence, because some of your structures, things like some of the cultural buildings, increase decadence. Events, status age penalty, we don't get any for the status age penalty yet, but as your nation gets older, it just naturally becomes more decadent. And then there's certain national modifiers. Okay, let's carry on. I think that's about all we can do. Now, you know, when you're not doing a YouTube video and you're sort of having to explain everything that you're doing, or you're like me and you just like to talk, you can actually play this game really quick, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. We are now down into, oh wow, look, we've got an aging token too. So we've got to pick this up fast. We're in a big trouble here if we don't. So we've dropped 6 places down. We need to immediately divert everything that we can into culture to get ourselves out. Yeah, look. There's some really serious music that plays as well, just to let you know that you've made a big mistake. Amasis, our government is old and our councillors senile, so Egypt's civilization is regressing. So we've hit the aging tier. Now if we get 5 aging counters, we'll regress. We don't want that. That will be pretty dramatic for our campaign. So let's we get is that a 33? Yeah, 30% chance every turn to receiving aging token. So there is an element of luck involved. We need to now go through. Well, first we'll go through all our all our newsworthy events, and then we're going to really put some people into culture development and try to fix that. Okay, logistics issues. We've got a new regional decision we don't need for right now. More oases. We've pillaged a royal tomb and they've put it into infrastructure. So sometimes your local governors will decide that certain buildings that were taken from other people aren't. Yeah, royal tomb in Coptis has been pillaged. Alright, so it looks like these are grave robbers who've taken our stuff. That's not good. And there's this is the notification that we got the aging token. Alright. Money wise, manpower wise, we're doing okay. We need more metal. We have these decisions. Now decisions are kind of little bonuses that you can give yourselves, and it gives you a choice of what you want to do. So let's look at this one. Merchants and patricians, Croesus legacy. With the treasury flooded with coins and gold, we are considering using some of these riches to either acquire metal or manpower. So we can basically swap some of our gold for either manpower or metal. This is really useful. Although I don't want to spend 1,000 on either of those, so I'm going to wait. But these decisions, they last for a while. They expire after a certain time, and then you get more. And you can use the ones that are ticked. Obviously you can use these ones. You can't use yet, but all of these merchants and patricians ones are good because they allow you to, if you've got an excess in money, manpower or iron, it allows you to swap them for the other ones. So really helpful there. Right, new population. Yeah, so our population is growing. Let's start putting people into culture. I don't care where they're coming from either. It is going to affect our growth, but there's nothing we can do about that now. We're just going to have to, let's get everybody generating culture as much as possible. We'll keep people building this preceptor house because this is going to reduce our decadence. Decadence reduction in a province is really powerful. You can't ever mitigate the effects of decadence, by the way. The game's designed like that. It's designed so that You know, at a certain point, your empire will start to get too big, and it just mimics what would happen in a real empire. Okay. I'm going to use this to skip through, just to make sure that we've got somebody, as many people as possible. Oh, we can't put anyone there. I'm tempted to put one more here. We've got to at least stop this. We need to get back into the... I want to get back into the green if I can. But if we have to get into... I mean, if it's just a matter of getting into the second tier, that's good enough for me too. Yeah, let's just get as many people making this as possible. I don't mind if it's going to slow our growth down. Move on to the next turn. Usually, if you've got, you can see the enemies moving on this particular processing turn screen too. Okay, so we're that's helped, but it's not helped enough. So we need to put more. We need more culture generation, even more, to get us into the up into the second tier. Now look, these guys, Aquitani, Rati, all these guys, these have all been in the aging tier. Look as well. So they've all been in the bottom, and that's part of the reason why we've gone down, is because they've gone up. So they've noticed there's a problem. They've started readjusting things, and it's dropped everyone down in the rankings. I like this system. It's so cool. This is like... this game does not disguise its board game influence, right? And I like that as a result. It uses some very board game-ish kind of mechanics, like, you know, the idea of these league tables, and you know, that they, rather than just being an indicator... I'm going to come back to this screen later, because there's a lot in there, but it's not just used as an indicator of who's winning. It also generates, you know, certain bonuses and penalties for the empires. And many grand strategy games, they use systems like this under the hood, I think, but they don't always let you know whether you're getting a bonus or whether the AI is getting a bonus because it's losing or winning. Whereas this game is really clear. You know, it's just the more I play it, the more I like it, and I think more people need to play this game. Really, it's just such a... it's so innovative in the strategy genre. And I'll be honest, I haven't played the other AGEOD games, so I'm sure that there'll be people who are watching this going, dude, where have you been the last 20 years? I'm sure the other games are great. It just happens to be that this is the first one that I came across and I played, and I'm pretty sure it was because I watched Daz Tactic playing it, actually. I think it was following Daz's videos that I came across this game, and I love it. I mean, I just think it's fantastic. Okay, it's enough of that nonsense. Let's go. So we are still in the aging area. We don't want that. Where are we? Legacy. No. Progress and decadence. Can you get to it from this scale? Yeah. No, you can't. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it, Ben. Carry on. So Egypt's unable to maintain its logistics. Yeah, we've still got logistics problems. That's because we live in a desert. We've got a new regional decision. I'm going to start looking at these regional decisions in a minute. We've got a new oasis, and yes, it's telling us we've got more oases. So we don't take any more provinces yet. By the way, if you're playing somewhere like Persia, who are now getting very, very big, incidentally, they've got this awesome mechanic that helps them expand, where you get 50% less decadence penalty, penalties for taking provinces. In fact, it might be even less than that. So basically, certain empires in this game are programmed to find it easier to expand in certain portions of the game. So while that sounds a bit unfair, not only does it help it model history a little bit more accurately, but it gives the game some flavor. Because if it was like, you know, if everybody just kind of started out small and had the opportunity to grow, you know, willy-nilly without these bonuses, some of these empires really would just flounder. And, you know, for example, these areas are quite hard to get into. They're all mountainous. Look, if Persia was left to try to take these mountainous terrains with the same kind of bonuses and penalties that the other nations got, with no extra rules to help them along, they'd probably never do it. So this is modeling kind of historical circumstances. I think Medea historically fell very quickly to the Persians because of various reasons, which I don't know about very much, but I'm sure there's plenty of flavor text in the game to explain it. Okay, I'm going to go through just our buildings again, just to make sure that there we go. Just to make sure that there's something we can build. Oh, here we go. So we built a craftier district. Let's go into trade details. Okay, we're not missing anything. Let's just see if there's anything that we need bonus trade goods. Okay, figs. Ah, here it's got loads of missing bonuses. Myrrh, amber, frankincense, furs and drugs. Sometimes good to just get an idea of what it is, you know, that you need in the surrounding areas. Okay. Wells gives us food and siege resistance. Smokehouse gives us... Ah, now this might be worth building. We need cattle and we can import it, which is good. We need to trade for that, so I don't want to do that. Guard Tower gives us garrisons. Potter's Workshop. Ah! We're missing that, aren't we? This is a great little... This is great. I don't think we've got any pottery, and we need it all over the place, because we've got markets, and we've got lots of markets, I believe. I think if we can get pottery, that is going to be making money all over the place. Not only is it going to be making money selling the pots to our markets, but it's also going to be stopping us from having to import the pots ourselves. We're going to see a big bonus in money when we build that. Okay, what next? Tanis is building a harbour. I am tempted to put another citizen into getting rid of Decadence. I just think we're going to have to try and put a few more in. You'll find that we will jump up suddenly up the rankings, because once we put enough people into producing culture, it is at the expense of our growth, but you know, we've got no choice. Okay, let's have a look at these guys. Yeah, let's move them back to a province where they've got a bit more food. Yeah, we need to move these guys out. They're starving. I see what's happening here. So let's move them into a place with much more food. Egyptius Major, there we go. Let's get them back next to the Nile where there's all that lovely food. And I think that's that. Yeah, we're done. Looks like our neighbour down... Oh, we're still in the bottom. Wow, it's really hard to keep Egypt out of this this area here, out of the bottom third. We need to... Oh, it looks like Meru, they're starting to lose provinces. Or are they taking them? No, I think they're losing them. We should try and take this now. Problem is we don't have any leaders. Okay. We are still growing population, so we've got some building structures to build. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to put everything into culture. Fishery, that might be worth it. We can already import them from Delta though. Where is Delta? Delta. Let's have a look at... I forgot there's a tool for this job. Delta. There we are. So we've actually got a fishery here. So we might not necessarily need to build a fishery where we were. Let's just find that one again. Yeah, it's in Tanis. So it does give you food though, and food, especially since we're having to put so many people into culture, it might be worth building something that can give us more food. Alternatively, we can make a wheel maker. That might be worth it because we haven't got much infrastructure either. No, I'll go for the fishery. You can always disband structures later. It does take some turns to do it. It's not like in some games it's an instant disband. It doesn't work like this here. They take a few turns to disband, you know, because you've got to shut down the business in a way that's not too destructive. Okay, the salt house here might be useful. Slave markets are good because slave markets allow you to use one of the national decisions to redistribute slaves. You will take slaves as you're conquering other nations, and they do. The more slaves there are, the less loyalty you'll have. So it's sometimes good to redistribute them Problem is with slave markets, they do increase decadence, so we need to keep away from that for the time being. This is relatively quick to build, and it increases culture and loyalty, so let's build that. What have we got here? Palisade is always useful. Metal is going to be useful. Water is always useful, but that only takes one turn. Hemp we've already got. Mind you, food's always useful. Mind you, we're getting quite a lot of food in this place. I think I'm actually going to put another guy into culture here. Let's build the palisade while we've got the opportunity. Palisades are useful. Yeah, we're not at risk of any war yet. Might be worth building something else actually. Monument gives you culture, but it also increases decadence in the province. I think I'm just going to go for the water and see what else we can roll next turn. Okay, and these guys should be starting to, yeah, they're replenishing now. They're still not a lot though. Okay, so we can forage 8 food, and we've got 53 available. Yeah, every province has got its own food levels as well, and they generate food. So your armies can starve if you're not careful. I'm really tempted to move in and take all this, but we can't afford the decadence hit right now. Even for an objective, it's just so many nations, by the way, in this game play so differently as well. Like, you know, some of them are really, wow, we're still in the bottom third. Look, I'm not sure what we can do about this. Regional decision. I wonder if there's any regional decisions we can make that can help us here. Dispersing slaves, maybe. Federating barbarians, liberating regions. No, we don't want to do that. Motivating troops, prospect for resources. Well, that's always useful. It costs money, but we've got money is something we've got. Maybe if we let's try. Yeah, but let's try prospecting with some resources. That might be worth it. If we can find some interesting, if we can find more metal, for example, that might be helpful. Federate barbarians. Oh, we can't do that yet. Bolster colony might be useful though. We could put that on here because this is right next to Babylon. So this will give us 2 population points, a palisade, a shepherd house, 2 skirmishes. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay. The governor of Melanus had no choice but to crucify a few religious agitators. String them up, man. Causing problems. New oases. Okay. Let's just put more people into culture. And hope somehow that we can get ourselves out of this mess we're in. We need to get out of this. We're lucky that the last couple of turns we haven't got any age encounters. I've not played a game of Field of Glory Empires in a while where I've had such a brutal attack from Decadence. We want to be building culture buildings now, I think, for the most part, if we can afford them. Yeah, this worship place. I mean, we could also do. Oh wow, we're losing infrastructure as well. Yeah, let's build a worship place. We got to try and get everything that we can in order to get out of this decadence spiral. Fortune teller doesn't help us there. This would be good. It takes a long time to build though. Trading tents is always worth building. It just gives you loads of money. If we can get enough trading tents going in here and then build some buildings with that sell the or produce the resources that the trading tents and the markets sell, we can start powerhousing our economy. If we can get out of this decadence spiral. We're not spiraling yet. It's not that bad yet, but it will get bad if we don't sort this out. Yeah, it looks like Babylon's taking more space. Adom's getting bigger too. Well, we went up 1 slot, but we're still at the bottom. Oh, we're so close. We're nearly out of it. Okay. Yeah, look at Persia. Persia's just swallowed up all of Media. That must have happened last turn. So look, in just, what, 10 turns, Persia has gone from these 3 provinces here, or two or three provinces, to right up into, you know, modern-day Turkey, nearly. I think this is kind of this area. So wow, they're going to be the people to be competing with. And we're not competing with anybody, by the way, until we get out of this situation we're in. So let's just see what buildings we've got to build. And that will give us culture too. Yeah, I'm just gonna build some culture buildings everywhere. I mean, I don't know if we can get rid of anything that's going to get rid of decadence. Yeah, I think part of the problem is all of these cultural buildings, the Sphinx, the pyramids, they're all costing us massive amounts of decadence, which is, you know, really bad. I wonder if we could switch this from the furnace over to the oration tribune. That might be wise. Mind you, we don't have any. Yeah, we've not got any metal, so we need that metal actually. Okay, let's just go to the next turn. I think I'm going to end the episode here, guys, because it's getting towards the end of the time. Okay, so we're finally out. We've got out of that decadent spiral. So hopefully, if we play for a few more turns next time, and we just keep pushing our culture up, hopefully we can get back into, you know, into the first tier. As long as we're not in the bottom tier, we're doing okay. We do need to be a bit careful about taking any more provinces. Oh wow, okay, so we're at war with Meru now. Okay, Babylon's supporting the attack. That just means that they're basically just insulting us. All right, we can. I mean, they're in no position to attack us. Honestly, they don't look like they've got anything that can hurt us with. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave the episode there. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the series. Let us know what you think about it. Take it easy. Bye.